Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League for North America. I'm Joe Storm, Noah Sell, and alongside me for today's action is Christian Hurix Thomaser. We're in week 4. How are you feeling about today's matches?
Pretty good, man. We've got a really important match, a couple of really important matches actually today that I'm really excited about. So I'm just waiting to get into the action, man, for sure. So he's kind of still new to this role here, and we're just kind of waiting for him still to kind of step up and really kind of provide those plays that we've seen from other engineer players.
Well, game number 1 in this best-of-3 series, starting out here on the Legacy of the Fofire SupQD, immediately heading to that quarry. Paul and Java both doing the waterfall, expecting some sort of push, and that's exactly what we're going to have here. Let's head back onto the map and see what exactly is going to be going down. We do have a bit of a stealth play. 3 members of Final Form heading over to Paul and Java. Thankfully for Java, Paul will be able to get him up. If he does get bursted down here, it looks like Bob's heading out here. We're going to be having pretty much an identical split for both teams.
Yeah, Bob needs to come over here and help out Yura because we are already seeing Zeus with the Slick Shoes knockdown onto Yura and Bob. So already a pretty heavy advantage in this 2v2 as Bob gets dropped already on the midpoint. PZ trying to take an early advantage. The function gyro trying to get the stomp, but he actually does get search and rescued, and he's going to be back up and into it.
Oh, they get onto the point thanks to that Ancestral Grace from Urantian just before they got the cap of Bob. Still under so much pressure here right now. He needs to be very careful. Zeus is in the Rampage now from that Elixir X. That's going to provide even more damage output from these guys. As long as they're able to hold on here, it looks like they should. They'll be okay. Meanwhile, at the waterfall, Java going to be taken into the downstate. Ozzy going to be going in for the stop. Will not get it. Paul coming in there. I don't even believe he used the search and rescue, so he still will have that off cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, pairing Paul with Java here, certainly he's not going to have the same level, I mean, basically the response time that you get from an Ellie with those instantaneous shouts, the shocking aura, all that kind of stuff. But what you do get is the ability to go off point with your support, and then all the pressure does go down on Java, but you can easily pull him out of the fight with the search and rescue. You can easily provide your support from afar where you're not getting pressured, and it's a lot easier that way in some ways. So.
And it looks like K-Pud taken down at the midpoint. SupQD was forced out of his home node, I believe by Muffin, surprisingly enough. Got the 3v2, exactly what they needed at the midpoint before Muffins was able to get here. Got the kill onto K-Pud, and now looking to capitalize on this numbers advantage at the mid node as Zeus already popped into that Elixir S from his traits now. Needs to be careful. Doesn't look like Bob was able to land a whole lot of damage from the Surge of the Mist. It didn't quite hit Zeus. Still under a lot of pressure here. Look at the Conti outpost, and he's going to be forced to portal back here. SupQD come through in his own portal. Is he able to get anything? Brings out the Moa, and he looks like they are going to be able to take down Muffins, who went back through his portal. Excellent play coming out there from SupQD.
Yeah, SupQD just completely, I mean, he's putting his team back on the map with that counter portal there, getting the decap, gonna go for the full cap. It looks like we actually did have the cap go over towards PZ over on Waterfall, so it really is gonna come down to Final Form's ability to take this advantage that they have in terms of kills and then push momentum on this map, try to get Zeromus healthy again, and then push forward towards that Waterfall now that they have this 2 cap.
And it looks like a little bit of an aggressive play from Bob. Needs to be careful as K-Pud's coming right back on him. He lands a little bit of that surge, but not enough to do substantial damage to Bob. Zeus with the Thunderclap, not really able to capitalize on it with the rest of his team. Has an Elixir X if he wants to use it. Looks like Muffin's also looking for another 1v1. So we're going to see a huge 4v4 here, but K-Pud takes a huge burst of damage now. Needs to be very careful. It looks like he might be dropped now. Has his heal available, but does get knocked back by Bob. Is he able to get it off? It looks like he is. Really close play there.
Yeah, but he didn't get much heal out of it, so he's still extremely low right now, trying to get some support from his teammates, although it doesn't look like there's going to be much there, and they're going to maybe bring him down here. He's just dodging all over the place right now, doesn't have enough energy, doesn't have the ability to block either, so he's still extremely low. Does get taken down by Bob.
Are they able to get him back up? Looks like Paul's peeling out here. Has the search and rescue, is going to be able to get him up, I think. Not enough damage coming out there from Final Form, who were a little late to react. It looks like SupQD also forced out of his own home node. They lost mid in the process of that res, if I'm not mistaken. And now we have a 2 cap coming out here from PZ, who honestly looks like they're losing most fights, but out-rotating Final Form.
I mean, that's basically their stories. I mean, you even talk about some of these teams when they, when they play against PZ, and they talk about, in the team fights, for the most part, they feel pretty confident. It's just PZ is so good at getting out of the fights and getting the right rotations and getting control of the caps. When you look at the scoreboard, it's just weird because you see the other team with so many points, and yet PZ comes out with the W.
Do have a bit of a 1v1 going on. K-Pud against SupQD heavily favors SupQD here, so K-Pud needs to be extremely careful. Doesn't even have his heal up for another 10 seconds. He is going to be forced out of this fight unless he wants to give up the decap. or excuse me, the full cap to Subcutie here. He's going to get a little help from Urantian. Meanwhile, at the midpoint, Paul was taken down. Java might be following as well as Zeromus is trying to follow up on him. Java is taken down here. Muffins is the only person remaining for PZ who have lost 2 members on this map, but Muffin's going in for the res. I don't think he's going to be able to get him here. Needs to be very careful. Blue still with the only cap on this game right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about, where they're winning the team fights, but they aren't able to really kind of get anything going on top of that. I mean, look across the board. We're seeing PZ covering Waterfall. We had PZ already covering a Corey. Zeus is over there. We've also got K-Pud over there. They just know when to peel out of the fight and just get to where they need to be so they can cover what they have.
Look at the slow rotations here from Final Form. They had 3 members of their team sitting at mid doing nothing. There was no one there, and they still are yet to peel anyone out of there. Urantian and Ozzy are finally moving towards that home node, but they're just allowing Team PZ to take these even fights, even when they're, you know, outmatched around the map.
Yeah, and that's a problem that they need to fix. They need to make sure that once they start winning these fights, pull out of it, make it an even fight where you were, and then spread them thin everywhere else, so that way you start gaining advantages elsewhere. If you're talking about the difference between a 4v3 or a 2v1, clearly the 2v1 has a higher advantage.
And this is what I don't like, the fact that they're 2v1ing on mid. Subcutie actually looked for the 1v1 with Muffins now, but they were 2v1ing there. I know Urantian was waiting for K-Pud, but he didn't need to wait there the whole time. They could use him for 10-15 seconds until he comes off respawn, then get back to that midpoint. He has a lot of mobility with that Ranger setup. I'm just very surprised they're not utilizing it. Looks like Java now under a lot of pressure, gets Sephiroth. Outside of this, doesn't have any Kanji transfer available. It looks like his Putrid Mark trying to come off cooldown, but that chill's really hurting him. Isn't even able to get his heal off. Able to get that Putrid Mark, but is he able to get Shroud? Doesn't look like it is going to come out, and he will get rallied, or res rather, from Paul regardless, as this fight continues on here. Pretty much a stalemate in one for the most part, but Subcutie managing to pick up a decap over at that Waterfall node.
Yeah, but look at Bob getting extremely low here. Extremely low. 49 health does get taken down now. It looks like they're going to go for the search and rescue, and that is a quick res indeed as Bob comes back up and looks to Zeus now. Zeus extremely low as well, and this could quickly be a tide turner now. Looks like his heal's coming up pretty soon, though, so he might be healthy. Bob's all over him, though.
K-Pod picks up the decap at the midpoint. That's pretty substantial, given the fact they are the only ones to hold on to a node now. I don't even think we've seen Team PZ take a single team fight now in this game, and it's been 7 minutes, and they're still with a good lead thanks to just superior rotations overall, or lack thereof from Final Form.
Zeus brought down here. It looks like they're going to get the res almost instantly there, and he's back up. Bob still under a lot of pressure here. Same goes for Zeus, though, and a big heal actually comes out there from Paul onto Zeus with the Lunar Impact. So they're all looking healthy now on the side of PZ. Does not look the same for Zeromus and Bob over on the side of Final Form, who are in this fight, getting extremely low. Bob gets taken down. Zeromus getting healthy again. It looks like they're going to try for the res, and it's stuck at 99%, and it's going straight down. They're trying again. Doesn't look like there's too much pressure on it, and he comes back up, and a lot of damage comes out. Ozzy in trouble a little bit here as he gets brought down as well. PZ might be winning this one.
It looked like there was that thunderclap from Zeus, I believe, just stopped them all on that res. Middle of the res, Ozzy is not getting up after that. Zeromus lucky to make it out alive. There wasn't enough follow-up coming out there from PZ. They lingered a little bit too long, weren't able to get on top of Zeromus, but still, he's under a lot of pressure, not in a very good position to start out this mid-fight. Final Form down 120 points, 6:45 remaining in this game. They've got to get something going now. A kill onto a member of Team PZ would definitely help out here, or a decap perhaps from Subcutie at the Waterfall. Definitely go a long ways here.
Zeromus getting a little trained down here. Looks like he's trying to, get away a little bit, as we did see Java all over him, but enough support to Zeromus is going to cause Java to actually try to fall back with Paul over towards the quarry. That's their only cap at the moment, because Waterfall, as you said, was decapped, so now they're kind of fighting on that with K-Pud and Zeus, which is an interesting setup now that Subcutie and Yura are kind of combining forces here. So there's going to be a lot of long-standing pressure, so it's up to Zeus to make sure that K-Pud gets the right amount of peels, and he locks down Subcutie there as well. K-Pud actually taking a lot of damage because, I mean, like I said, it really comes down to Zeus. He needs to make sure he's getting a lot of CC off, a lot of pressure off on them, so that they're not putting damage into K-Pud, and K-Pud can start putting some really good offensive pressure out, as he's known to do. But
he's in a bit of a tight spot right now. Might actually be taken down. Needs to be careful. Thankfully for him, there's not a lot of follow-up pressure from Subcutie or Urantian unless they blow some cooldowns. And it looks like, oh, huge surge and miss from from K-Pud onto Subcutie. makes him kind of stay at bay there. Meanwhile, we did have a bit of a 3v3 skirmish going on the other side of the map, as it looks like Zeromus trying to put out some damage onto Java. They're going to be able to take him down, but man, Paul coming in with that search and rescue. They are going to get the fear, get the decap, which is pretty substantial. But regardless, got Java back up. Paul now under a lot of pressure as well. He has Celestial Avatar heals available. Is it enough to keep him alive? As mid was decapped, all 3 nodes are being contested right now, or at least decapped for the most part. But PZ really looks so strong health pool wise here.
Final form not looking so good right now with SupQt down. Zeromus about to follow. Although it looks like he's able to get his heal off as Java did go down. Paul getting extreme low as well. They might actually turn this one back around with Java stomped out. Paul down, as I said, and looks like they're going to be able to get the stomp here as well. Final form taking yet another fight here. I mean,
there's the portal, though. The portal from Muffins. They hit that 350 point mark. They have K-Pud and him. It looks like they're going to go back through it. They just wanted to get the gate down. Interesting juke play, and they're going to end up coming up with the graveyard cap because of that.
Well, they saw SupQt there, and they know that his Mo is up. They're probably assuming his Continuum split up is up as well, and it is indeed. So, I mean, that is definitely a situation that you want to be kind of wary about, because Bob coming in from the back, SupQt has that MOA, you know that's available, and you know at any point in time they could, you know, double back another guy there as well, turn it into a 3v3. That's not a situation you technically want to be in, given the fact that you'd be down a man, they could take back all the nodes, so it's just safer to go back through the portal and try again a little bit later, especially when you have map control. There's no reason to give it up.
SupQt in a bit of a fight over here at the waterfall. He's in a 1v2 with Zeus and K-Pud now. Drops the portal, trying to get out here. Bob looking to peel for him, but K-Pud's coming in there with that Shiro. And, I mean, they're 75 points away from victory here. All they need to do is hold on to this 2-cap. Final form, there's no Lord play here unless they get a decap somewhere.
Yeah, and remember, I mean, this is PZ's map that they had to win, because going into the next 2 maps, those are going to be extremely hard fought. They have to win on a map that they're probably not favored on at all.
But it looks like Muffins is down here. We're going to see the kill come out onto him. SupQt getting a search and rescue. This might be what they need. Is it too late, though? There's 40 points away, the 2-cap. They probably will be able to come out with a decap at the midpoint. And it looks like SupQt still has that MOA if he wants to use it. Is now a good time. He is going to throw it down onto Java, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to just decimate him there. Still looking for a decap at this node. Paul is still on it. Tries to search and rescue, trying to get him back up. They might be able to pick him back up. Doesn't look like so. Paul forced off of him. 20 points away from victory. Decap comes out at the midpoint. Zeromus looking for the same against Zeus here. I just don't see this happening without any help.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they have enough time here. You're looking down the barrel of about 20 seconds that you have to not only take Zeus out, but then also get the decap on top of that. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to maybe pull that off.
They might be able to. The Elixir S coming out, that's really helping, because they're only a tick away from getting him. They're going to get the stomp. They're going to be able to get the decap.
They're going to get the geet. They're going to get it,
man. Muffins able to get there. No, Muffins doesn't get on point time. 1 kill away. They could do something here. There is a single kill for PZ will win them the game, but Muffins is going to be out here. They could pull a 3-cap off this. This could be a history. You know, this could be a crazy game at the end if Final Form is able to hold off here.
The thing is that they need to make sure that they're covering themselves across the map. We're going to have a 1v2 over on the quarry, and that's not a situation that your Antian can handle for, I mean, really that long with Java there applying the pressure. All Urin needs to do is make sure that he can last probably about 30 seconds. That's all he needs is 30 seconds.
They're going for the Lord. Urantian has no cooldowns available. Celestial Avatar available in a couple seconds here. He needs to hold on. He cannot go down. That would be game. If so, he is going to be taken into the downstate. They pick up this kill. That will be game. They are started the Lord, but that's not going to be happening. That will be game number 1 going out to Team PZ, 501 to 370. Game number 2 start. Let's go ahead and take a look at some opening splits. So we're back into the action here. SupQt already aiming for that windmill node. It looks like pretty much an identical split for the most part from Team PZ that they had on the first game, as Java and K-Pud defensive split on that mansion. We are going to see stealth play. Let's head back into the action here as Bob and a couple others, basically the exact same thing we saw from Final Form, the 1-1-3 play coming right away, and looks like Java already going to be under a lot of pressure here coming out there from Bob.
Alrighty, Java getting pretty low here. A lot of Connies on him. He has nothing left, and he's just getting CC'd out completely, and he's about to drop here and does go down already. Final Form finding a kill over on the mansion, it looks like, and they're going to find a dead Java there as well, and now they're going to be able to get that control early, like we talked about. And it looks like they're going to be going for that cap as well. Paul going to be going down. Oh, man, already final form.
That's a pretty big play. This is an excellent way. You could not ask for a better start here coming out there from this Final Form team. It looks like Urantian didn't want to get himself into that 1v2 situation at the mid, so they will gladly take a fight in their own home node. Regardless, PZ coming out there with the 2-cap, even though they did lose that fight at the mansion.
It's the same thing that we saw last game. It doesn't look like anything's changed in that regard. And right now we're seeing PZ yet again. We're actually seeing Paul now die off finally, and Muffin's getting pretty low here as well as they're trying to set up a kill, but Muffins might go down. He has only 4,000 HP support going on to him right now, going up to 8K, but still going up and down all over the place. SupCutie setting himself up for a kill. Muffins goes down here, and it looks like this might turn out to be yet another pickup for Final Form, and still the 2-cap for PZ.
They've got to get something going now for Final Form. Like you said, we saw this in the last game. They won the fights, but they were not able to rotate out of them quickly enough to make something happen. Now Bob's under a lot of pressure. He might be taken to the downstate. Gets some heals from the remainder, the rest of his team. Ozzy doing an excellent job of supporting him. Looks like they might want to head out of this fight, even though they have a 4v2 over here at this node. They are looking to rotate out of here. SupCutie is actually the one to leave. Looking for a DK at the midpoint, going to be met by Java. Probably going to drop a portal and head out there. Oh, Zeromis forced off of the node. They are going to be 3-capped here, despite having numbers elsewhere.
Oh, man. I mean, just the map awareness from PZ, the presence that they have, and their ability to just control everything across the board, despite not having the, I mean, they just don't have the W's in these team fights, but they're still able to hold on. It's just absolutely ridiculous, and that, I mean, is in part due to their ability as a team to come together like this, but certainly the Final Form's inability to really kind of do anything about it certainly plays a big part as well.
And they finally pick up a kill onto K-Pud, much needed in that 2v2. They should be able to eliminate Zeus from here, at least force him out of the node. They managed to pick up the decap at the clock tower as well, taking a look at SupCutie and Muffins in this legendary 1v1 here. SupCutie has the MOA from Continuum Split, and it looks like both players actually do, so that could be quite the 1v1. We'll have to see how that progresses, but back in the mid, Java under a lot of pressure here, and is actually taken into the downstate.
I mean, another pickup, and the function gyro res comes up from Zeus, who makes the play, and they're back into this one and trying to take down Urantian here, as well as Ozzy, and we have to remember those two together. I mean, just so much support from those guys. I mean, it's going to be rough to take them down, especially with Java mowed out and taken down. Zeus going for the res once again, this time without the function gyro. Still manages to get him up, though.
Goodness, he used the Toss Elixir S. It didn't allow Ozzy to actually go in for the stomp. Where is the rest of his team? The rest of his team doesn't even go in for the cleave. Zeus popping the Elixir X, getting Tornado. That's not bad. Honestly, if you get Tornado on the clock tower, that's probably the best node in the game to get it, because it's such a hassle to get on back on top of that node. So it looks like both teams will be taking a cap apiece. SupCutie utilizing that portal, going to pick up a decap over the mansion, being met here by Zeus. And still, Urantian dead in the roads. This is not a game over yet for Final Form.
Yeah, not in the slightest. Urantian is going to die out. Java taken down for a third time. This time, Paul going for the search and rescue, and they get him back up again. The third res now onto Java in this mid-fight, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get it this time.
I'm not even appalled by that. Ozzy used the lightning flash for the stomp and supposedly missed the lightning flash stomp. It looked like he had it, but must have been just a little too far away from him. Even so, we will see Final Form come out with that cap at the clock tower, and SupCutie actually forcing Zeus out of here. Is going to get the MOA, lands the MOA. He's just going to be laying down the condies onto Zeus now. Doesn't get a whole lot of torment onto him, unfortunately, because Zeus is moving all over the place, but Paul coming in there for a little bit of support. Bob is going to be here, lands a little bit of surge and miss, going back on top of Zeus. Zeus needs to be very careful right now. He might be taken down now. It looks like Bob will eliminate him. They pick up on the 2-cap, but Paul, once again, picking up the search and rescue res. He has been doing wonders for this team.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually been Zeus and Paul across the board. Zeus going for a couple function gyro reses as well has really kind of kept them on the map, especially with Java getting so much pressure. But now it's Java's turn to put the pressure on SupCutie as he takes him down now to about 20%, forcing SupCutie off of the point, which is huge for them because they really need to get some presence on this here. And K-Pud now getting chased around actually a little bit, but forcing himself back over towards that windmill. And, I mean, they're still up 60 points right now, looking pretty solid as long as they can get some pressure down onto Bob and maybe take him down.
Yeah, Bob needs to be very careful right now. He doesn't have his heal up for another 7 seconds with chill on top of him. He might be okay, though. Has his shield block.
He went over to the other. He went over to the other stance, and now he's on Shiro without a heal for 10 seconds now. But he's probably going to be able to make it over towards that to that glint for that glint heal.
Yeah, he does have it, so he'll be okay. Pops it a little prematurely though because K-Pod didn't follow up on the damage, so really didn't do anything from that. And K-Pod, landing a bit of burst, gonna land a precision strike as well. Bob utilizing that target onto Zeus, comes right into the midpoint, pops the Elixir S thanks to that trait. And he might be under a lot of pressure now as well. He's going to be in trouble, but K-Pod still laying out the damage, laying waste to Zeromus now, who's caught himself in a bit of a tight spot here. There's the cap coming out there for Team PZ, who starting to build their lead once again here.
Yeah, SupCutie able to take down Muffins, and that is going to lead to a cap on that windmill for Final Form here. So it's going to be 1-for-1. Still, though, a 70-point lead, an advantage here for PZ. Where it actually is a 4v4 right now is almost a 3v4 there, but Zeromus was able to get back up with the help of Urantian, who pulled him back down. So these Druids, I mean, have been doing just insane work for their teams, and yet we've yet to really see any kind of ports onto those downstates to try to get some counter damage on top of it. So
Paul needs to be careful now. Zeromus trying to finish him off. Is he able to do the trick? Look at the gun he's stacking onto Paul. Paul under a lot of pressure here. Zeus trying to heal him back up thanks to that Elixir gun. Might get some condies off. Paul taken into the downstate. Can Zeus pull out the res? I doubt it.
Function Gyro already killed off. The pressure was way too high there from Final Form. And it looks like they're going to be able to put some pressure down into Java. And if they can eliminate him quickly enough, they're going to be able to take another kill and potentially the midpoint in the process, which is what they need at this stage. With just over 7 minutes in the game, they are down 70 points exactly by the tick, and right now they're taking kills across the board here.
Kind of a bad portal, I would say, for SupCutie. Really wasn't needed, but he changed his agenda mid kind of being trained down there by Muffins. And I mean, he didn't have a whole lot of health, but Muffins isn't really able to train him down too terribly well. We just saw the res once again onto K-Pod. So even so, I didn't really like that portal by SupCutie, didn't really utilize it. We see him in the 1v1 once again with Muffins, who's got a lot of pressure on him. Here's the Moa. Continuum split Moa coming out from both guys. I believe he dodged it. Both players actually dodged the continuum split Moa there. So getting away, kind of lucky on that end is K-Pod.
Well, Muffins actually dodged. Muffins wound up dodging SupCutie's, but in the process, he just wound up canceling. Didn't go for his continuum split at all. So he's going to be with it, but he's also going to be in trouble because he just got downstated there by Urantian, was able to get that solar beam off. Nonetheless, Paul's going to come through in the clutch for a res on him and a big heal as well. So now this is going to turn into a huge fight on this point, which, as we know, is certainly in the favor of Final Form as they have those two supports. They can just kind of whittle PZ down over time, put pressure on K-Bud, put pressure on Java, and that's going to be history for them.
I mean, literally.
No, Ozzy goes down.
He's keeping himself alive. Oh, he gets interrupted on his heel. Urantian coming in with the res, though. It's been over a minute. We've literally had no point change. Still a 70-point lead here for Team PZ. Thanks to the reses coming out there from Urantian and Paul now going in for the res onto Bob. Is he able to pull it off? Ozzy here as well. I don't think that's coming through for these guys. He is going to be finished off. Zeromus is going to be falling into the downstage as well.
That's a huge pickup
Zeromus, gets Condi bombed. 11 health outside of this shroud.
There's no way he is getting away alive on this one. Urantian is going to want to already pull out. However, he's got that search and rescue up in about 3 seconds. He already is pulling out. He's going actually for the decap over on Mansion. I would assume he would want to kind of stick around for that search and rescue instead, but it looks like already Final Form was forced to pull out. So
I think he's got this decap. There's no way Zeus, is able to get there. So that is a pretty tremendous decap. Regardless, still down 90 points now. Need to make an assault somewhere, and it looks like Bob wanting to put some focus down onto Java. Lands a decent surge in the 6K hitting him, taking him down, forcing some cooldowns. Got a 2v2 that honestly I feel like could favor Final Form here, especially with Urantian getting some really good reses.
Yeah, Urantian getting kind of pressured, though, at the moment with the huge CC coming out on him just as he goes into Celestial Avatar, and he's getting so much pressure, doesn't have that form anymore. However, just enough time was given to him so he could peel out. Java was not able to follow up on that pressure there as he did not have that Reaper Shroud available, and he was a little bit too low to get in that, get in up close, try to get some corrupts on him at all either. So looking good for Final Form at the moment. With the
SubQT got decapped at the windmill, gets it back for himself, but like you were about to say, Java gets just hammered down there. Is the res going to come out? Nice knockback coming out. I believe that was from Kepa trying to get his teammate back up. They are going to get him back up into the fray. Things now look at their health pools just surging up thanks to the heals coming out from these guys. Still just about a 100-point lead for Team PZ. Final Form has got to get something going other than just on one note here if they want to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the way they play this team fight too. I mean, everybody just going in and out. Pressure on Paul right now. He's going to be trying to pull everybody out of the fight so he can come back in with that Ancestral Grace and just kind of make sure that a lot of time is wasted for them as they train Yura down. And if they can get that Ranger down, then they don't have to worry about that search and rescue. They can just put damage on that body where it is, and then they can get that free kill off like they just did. And now they can start looking for other targets. Bob, they can look at Zeromus. All of these guys are good targets for them, especially with Java in the area. All they have to do is get Java back up now with Paul peeling out already. That preemptive, I mean, when you see a Ranger pull out, when you got that guy low, you need to be ready to jump on that corpse as soon as it gets teleported, and they have yet to do that.
Cleaving down the corpse. You should already be on top of Paul, cleaving Paul down, because you know he's going for it. There's no doubt in my mind, if he didn't have it, he would not be sitting out that far. That's just good communication from Team PZ, who pick up a 2-cap, and Final Form's hopes of remaining undefeated this season are withering away from them. I don't think this is happening for them. There's 50 points away from a 4-0 season here for Team PZ.
Yeah, and I mean, PZ has been really kind of lucky that the weeks that they were struggling were against some teams that were, a little bit on the lower side of the bracket there, a little bit the lower side of the standings. But now they have shown up and proven that, I mean, not only are they a team worthy of that 3-0 that they currently possess, and surely the 4-0 that they're about to, but they're definitely worthy of the standing placement that they have right now. Tied for first with Astral, absolutely just crushing Final Form on a map that they should have, in my opinion, won just based off of how they play. And, now PZ is going to be up 4-0 and Never Lucky a little bit in contention again.
All right, well, game number 1 on Legacy of the Fofar about to commence as we look at some opening splits from both of these teams. As we will have Edison head right for the waterfall. Looks like Toker and Nos will be going to the quarry. Wang potentially looking for a fight over there as this 1-3-1 going to be coming out here with Fanaram heading to that waterfall.
Ostrich right now at middle here with Wakey Chaith lined up next to him. So it's going to be it's actually kind of an interesting setup here as Zor just completely leaves OEGS here to fight against 5-gauge. It looks like he's going to be coming right on back. And Ostrich Egg's actually in a pretty good position right now, taking Chaith pretty low. Toker actually low as well, so they were able to get that Corey cap already. Now pushing this into a huge fight at mid, where Toker is just getting bounced around, although Edmonton, yeah.
He just got mauled by Toker, and I don't think they're getting him up. There's the stomp immediately coming out there from, I believe that was 5-gauge, perhaps?
Fanaram there.
Fanaram, both coming out with portals immediately after. It looks like a huge portal coming out there for Easy Peasy, sending 3 members back. Now they're coming back onto this mid node where both 5-gauge and Wakey are here, and back over at the waterfall. Edison is Moa coming out there. I believe we saw the AoE Moa. No, actually Fanaram brought it out, but still, this is kind of unorthodox rotations from both these teams.
Yeah, Edison right now getting kind of low though. Fanaram doing a great job in this 1v1 here, pushing him off the point and getting ever closer to that cap. Now we are going to be seeing Nos actually train him down over towards the gate and maybe take him down, although Edison is able to get the stun off, so he's able to make it back in. And actually, in the meantime, Corey has been capped throughout this entire time in favor of Easy Peasy, and now they're going to be able to get ahead a little bit. Still, though, haven't really established any kind of presence on the map in terms of, kind of getting a significant lead, and Toker is actually putting a ton of damage down with the help of Wakey onto Wang, who I'm not sure if he should necessarily be keeping.
I don't know exactly what his plan was there. Just trying to hold off as long as he could. Zor now coming in. Zor's looking to hold off on the node. I don't know about that because he ended up giving mid in the process. I really don't like that rotation overall. Meanwhile, back over at the waterfall, Nos taken into the down state as Edison looking for the cleave onto him. I don't think they're going to be able to get him back up. He will be eliminated if I'm not mistaken. Function Gyro not really doing a whole lot from Chade.
Yeah, so that's Nos down in a fight that Ostrich Eggs was in. Not the 1v1 we were looking for, but I mean, that's a little bit of bragging rights, a little bit.
Oh, Wang ringing out the Moa onto Toker at the mid node, but Vanaram is here to help. Vanaram's actually fairly low as well. I'm really surprised that Wang didn't really take advantage of this situation. Oh man, Vanaram going back through the portal. Edmonton with the unrelenting assault, going to follow him right through. We saw this mistake a few times in the previous season, but it really felt like most people had picked up on it, and Vanaram going to be eliminated. 2 members down for Astral Authority, potentially 3 as 5 Gauge might be following down here.
Yeah, Wakey was able to make it back onto that midpoint, so he's going to be able to hold on to this cap as long as he doesn't have to pop Obsidian Flesh. Looks like he's going to be in water this time, so he's not going to have to worry about it. But the damage coming out from Edmonton just blowing him up. Now the decap does come out, and it looks like Astral's trying to come in here and maybe make a play onto Wakey and get him back up. The function gyro's on him, but the stomp comes out.
I don't know what their plan is right here. Vanaram looking for an immediate push through the waterfall. Edison is going to have some damage from Toker on top of him, but Rocket Charge is going to help him get onto the point in time. We will see a 2-cap, if I'm not mistaken, come out here for Easy Peasy, but they need to be careful about this because Edison is under so much pressure. Elixir S already popping out. Edmonton already in the downstate. Ostrich Eggs trying for a res. It looks like the knockback from Toker will come out there. I don't think they're getting him back up into this fight, and lack of rotations from Easy Peasy is what put them in this position here.
Yeah, and now it's going to be Wang versus Nos in a 1v1 on this midpoint that is quickly going to turn into something a lot worse if they don't get Edison back up across the map. Toker is kind of low right now, and they do manage to get Edison back up, so if he can get healthy again, they're going to be able to take down Toker, and it's going to be up to if they can put enough damage down on top of him. It's not enough, though, so everyone is back up, but look at the health pools on Astral. They are not looking good at all right now.
They need to be very careful. Meanwhile, at the mid node, Nos is going to be taken into the downstate, potentially gets featured mark, gets his heal off, but isn't enough. About 50% HP. Wakey trying his best to keep him alive. We actually see Wang using that blink to get out of the node, trying to get back to that core and get the decap as quick as he possibly can. Meanwhile, at the waterfall, still holding on here for Easy Peasy. They could leave it since Wang will be getting the decap at the quarry node, but this is a great pickup here for Easy Peasy right now, really trying their best to contend with #1 in NA.
Yeah, Edmonton going back in on Nos. Looks like Chaith is going to be able to help eliminate him so quickly with Toker there. Just so much CC, so much instantaneous damage. That was a great job from them setting that up. But still, a 2-cap here coming out for Easy Peasy. What am I watching right now?
I love that play from Zor. Left the node just enough time to get back on it before that cap came out there from Astral. And we see Wang using that portal to get back. I think that was a little premature. Didn't really need to use that right away. Toker really hadn't made a full commitment to the quarry node. Regardless, Nos takes down Edison in this 2v2. Almost gets taken down himself. The 2-cap still prevailing here for Easy Peasy, but surely it will go back in favor of Astral, who have eliminated 2 members of Easy now.
Ooh, a huge Tides of Time coming out onto Ostrich from Vanaram. That's going to be enough to set up the kill there, and he is not on point at all. A little bit of a misplay from him, and now looks like Astral's going to be able to come back in this one for, I believe, their first 2-cap of the game here that they're going to be able to get.
It will be their first 2-cap, and 3 members off the board here for the blue team. Edison is off respawn. I think their best bet right now is to regroup at the quarry. I really don't feel like a regroup right now at the waterfall is in their best interest because of the just pressure coming out there right at the gate from 2 of these guys on Astral. And it already seems that Wang is just wanting to bail out of this node. Not a terrible move. I can actually see where Easy Peasy was going with that. He left the portal there, so that potentially they're wanting to come back in on this at a different time, but Zor is making a one-man assault on this node against Chaith. I don't know what his plan is here. He should have went immediately to the waterfall.
I think he's just waiting for Wang to come back, but Wang wants this 1v1 because he feels pretty confident about it. I mean, the way that he's playing it right now, look at the dominance asserted by Wang right now onto Nos, who's really got, so far, just shown like no chance.
The Moa, but forced to dodge his own mark. Even so, I feel like they would have such a bigger advantage with Zor at that waterfall node. I don't really think he should have went to the core. I think that really killed some of their chances.
No, Wang needs to leave this right now immediately because they're 2-capped. I mean, even if you can get this kill, what is it really worth in the grand scheme of things? You need to pull out of this, and he's not even going to get the kill. I think Nos is going to actually wind up getting this pick, and he does, and still the 2-cap for Astral right now, and Nos is going to be able to leave this one completely safe. I mean, this is ridiculous. Easy Peasy should not have gone for that at all, despite Wang's probability for maybe taking a win on that duel. It just didn't mean enough at that time for him to take that.
That single 3-man wipe from Easy Peasy ultimately is allowing Astral to snowball off of it and hold on to this 2-cap. Potentially a 3-cap here because Nos is making his way into this 5v4 and Ostrich Eggs is going to be mowed down. He is able to cleanse his condies, has a good amount of shroud available to him, but outside of that, he is done. I don't see them coming back from this deficit whatsoever. Astral is too good at pinning you down in these situations, and they won't allow for a comeback here.
Yeah, it looks like Ostrich is going to be eliminated here, still fighting over this waterfall. And this is that situation that we saw a lot, you know, in Season 1 and even prior to that, back when we were doing Go Fors here, man. And they just hold you at that far point on your home node. They just hold you there forever and ever and ever. And they don't mind however long the fight takes. They actually would rather you not die. They would rather you just sustain on that fight forever, and they'll just hold the 2-cap while no one goes for it. Finally, though, we do see Easy Peasy realizing, hey, we need to make an adjustment here because clearly nothing's happening in our favor right now. So they go ahead and they make a portal play over towards this Corey node here, and they're trying to take down Chase with the stealth gyro, though.
They're just going to go for the Lord. Phantom already on the gate, throws the portal down. They don't even care about that. No, 3 members, their biggest support member, Zor, is over at the quarry. He's not going to be able to come back to this Lord in time. He is making a push for it, but I don't think it's going to happen as, oh, it looks like a bit of a portal back. Didn't seem like they wanted to make a full commitment. And
the same thing we just saw PZ do, actually, where they just break down the gate, force a rotation, and then go on back. We actually saw that as well with Cunning Stunts back in the day. The same sort of play where you just force the rotation off and then just, you know, head back in. Certainly a lot cleaner in this regard, but than what we saw back in the day. But still, a really nice play nonetheless.
And here's the push on Ostrich Eggs as Toker making a little bit of a assault onto him, and a big Condi bomb coming out there. He will be taken down. Zor a little too late to the party. Thanaram already ahead of Toker. Nos is following behind him. That's going to be a 3v1 at the Lord. I think it's safe to call this one in favor of Astral here.
Yeah, I have to agree entirely. They're going to be able to take him down pretty quickly, although a lot of support coming out from Zor here as the Lord is down to about 60 HP, falling a little bit more quickly now as it drops, and still that waterfall cap is ticking away. And there it is, 556. We're going to be seeing Astral go 1-0 up over Easy Peasy on Legacy.
A pretty convincing win from Astral Authority.
Nothing exciting in that regard, but maybe it could happen. Maybe
it could.
You know?
We'll have to see. Is Easy Peasy able to pull back here and take a game off of the ever so mighty Astral Authority? We see Edison heading to that home node. Same pretty much opening split, defensive light coming out here from Astral, as they are going to send Phantom to 1v1 here. All of Easy Peasy heading back into the action here. All of Easy Peasy kind of at this mid node, looking for a pretty big fight, trying to get on top of Chaith, it seems.
Yeah, not too much damage coming out quite yet, although a lot of pressure being dropped on top of Easy Peasy as they're kind of forced off the node a little bit. Ostrich taking a lot of heat, doesn't have the ability to go for his heal quite yet, getting extremely low. Reaper Shroud now down to about 4-second cooldown, so he might be able to, with the support of Zor who's on him, get back into that Reaper Shroud. Although, look at his health pool. He didn't go into Reaper Shroud. He tried to get that Elite casted, and it did not go off. He got blinded and interrupted, so now he is going to be going down. Zor going to be going down as well, and already Astral setting themselves up with that those 2 kills that they really need to start snowballing this map like we know they're capable of doing. And there is that 3rd one. Are we going to be seeing much the same of the last game, just way earlier on?
I anticipate it. I mean, this is another pointless 1v1. Edmonton is 1v1ing Wakey right here. I really don't see that. Wakey is hands down the best elementalist of North America by far, and I don't see this going in favor of Edmonton. I mean, he can take him down if he lands a nice Surge in the Mist, but this is Wakey we're talking about, and they've already lost 2 members off the map here. Toker is going to bring this into a 2v2 as Ostrich Eggs is kind of training him down over here, and again, they're going to see a 3-cap now from Astral Authority, who are just going to take it away from here.
Ostrich Eggs right now getting pressured as well. After Edison fell, I mean, they're just completely falling apart at the bits here. 88-33, 3-cap in favor of Astral Authority. I mean, here is the authority that we've been looking for a while here. Finally setting it up now. And now OEG's taken down as well. Wakey going for that stomp, does get it with that Obsidian Flesh, securing that kill. and just, I mean, really kind of securing probably the rest of the game for themselves at this stage with the dominance that we know that they are able to assert on these other teams. Once they get the snow rolling down that hill, it is hard to stop them, completely dominating easy peasy right now.
I mean, Edison's going to fall down here. There's no way he's able to contest this mansion node. He's got no one even around. I don't see him being able to hold on very long, or that rocket charge trying to make a little bit of a damage attempt onto Chade, but Chade won't have any of it. Cancels his Elixir X there, waiting for Ostrich to come in here. There's that 3-cap Astral Authority showing us their true colors and how dominant they can be. The thing I would like to see from Easy Peasy right now is a full 5-man regroup at their home node, try to take them on in a team fight. I think if they're able to do that, they could definitely try and peel out of fights, but that's kind of what we talked about earlier. Astral Authority will take that 5v5 team fight all day if it's on your home node and it's capped.
Yeah, I mean, they'll take the team fight when they have 3-cap or 2-cap all day anyways. It doesn't matter where it is. I mean, they'll take it all day. Anybody would be, in a good place to take that team fight in that position regardless, because you're just keeping those points accumulating and accumulating over the course of that team fight. As long as you can sustain it, as long as you can keep them in that team fight and you know that you have the advantage, that's going to be setting you guys up later in the match for a lot wider of a gap there, a huge discrepancy between points, and we're already seeing that come out as they're getting already close to hitting that 300-point gap, about to add basically a 0 to the other team's score.
It's pretty good. I mean, this is already pretty much in the bag for Astro. I don't see Easy Peasy. They've showed us their hand, not able to get anything done here. 2 members down on their side. I'm just disappointed. I wanted to see that 1v1 between Ostrich and Nas. I wonder if they'd be willing to head over to that windmill node, try to get away from the rest of these guys, and give us a show on that end.
Yeah, it's going to be Tucker versus Wang right now, at least, as they chase Easy Peasy out of this team fight here, pushing them further and further away from the point and from potential victory, as Toker looks to maybe take him down here. Edmonton getting extremely low, and they do cancel the block and take him out as well. Ostrich Egg's about to get off respawn. Edison getting extremely low himself, doesn't have that heal for another 3 seconds. Trying to get away from Shade, but comes right back into it.
Yeah, he's just trying to do what he can. There's the 3-cap once again as they pick up that mansion node. 2 members down at mid on the side of Easy Peasy. Edison knows this one's over for them. Down 300 points here. I honestly, this is just Astral's way, asserting their dominance, showing us that they can't be trifled with, even by a team that's up and coming like Easy Peasy. I can't say I'm too surprised to see them really show up today.
Yeah, I mean, Edison getting trained out. I mean, this, I hate to say it, man, but this is like dominance that you see. Like, imagine a pre-made team going up in a queue versus just a bunch of solo queuers. I mean, basically just, I mean, the dominance is insane. This is absolutely crazy that Easy Peasy is a team that has established themselves with that 2-1, already looking extremely good for this season, and still Astral just showing the discrepancy between a team that can be in first, consistently in first, and a team that has improved but just isn't quite there yet, as we're seeing right now.
Yeah, just absolute dominance here from Astral Authority, who have taken game number 2 without much of a fight whatsoever from Easy Peasy here. What do you even have to say on that regard?
I mean, certainly the last match was a lot closer.
I'm putting my money on Gems and Tonic. 2-0 on Gems and Tonic.
But what's the
here.
reason?
The reason is because I think their players are a little bit more synergized together. I like their team synergy, and I think it's going to come through here. So, looks like a 1-1-3 coming out here for Spooky, 2-1-2 for Gems Atomic. Let's head into the action. Corey already getting a little piece of that as Devil the Mist putting out all he can onto Duck and taking a lot of damage in return.
Yeah, taking a lot of pressure indeed. Zerko taking some over on the midpoint as well, as we are seeing a 1v1 between Schnicky and Zerko here across the board, though. It kind of looks like everyone's kind of even, as they are getting kind of low everywhere. Physics might actually get taken down by Tao and Zuko, as he's in a 1v2 here and doesn't have anything to get rid of that chill, so he's going to fall. Zerko going to be doing the same, though, over on the midpoint. So we are going to be seeing red team, Jims and Tonic, capture that waterfall out, and it looks like we're going to be seeing Spooky start getting some points towards this capture, although Schnicky was stealth this entire time and had nothing to get for that cap. He was stealth the whole time.
That's unfortunate. I think that's a misrotation. His teammate actually left that mid node and went to help out the quarry. I think he should have possibly went there because he was stealth. Devil the Miss going to be taken down. There is the final cap on Graveyard. I really think they need Zerko in these team fights. I'm very surprised he opted for mid. I did say he would look for some of these skirmishes, look for potential 1v1s with that longbow, but even so, I think they need him in these team fights, especially at this quarry node right here, because they're actually losing this, or they were.
Devil in the Mist right now, getting pressured out a little bit here by Brenslow, but looks like, oh, they do manage to get the kill here, though. So Devil's actually going to be in the down state. Looks like they're going to be going for the res. Tau certainly has the ability to get it and does indeed. So right now, looks pretty good across the board for both teams, I guess. It really kind of comes down to who is able to get that advantage that we saw Astral taking. You know, still the same kind of thing with Final Form. This map is really kind of based off the snowball. If you can get map control, you can kind of push the momentum forward across the map, and neither team have really been able to acquire that just yet.
It looks like Devil in the Mist trying to get away from Brenslow here. Sitting on top of him. It's going to be a 3v2, 3v3 now, 3v4 in favor of Spooky at this quarry node. They're sitting their engineer at the waterfall. I don't like that. I know you don't have a Mesmer. I know that physics can exploit that, but you just cannot sit. Can't afford to have somebody just sit there on that node. If anything, send Dolton to that mid node. At least know that he is going to be accounting for somebody on the Spooky side. It is going to be a 4v4 here finally once Devil in the Mist is back up, but are they able to last that long? I highly doubt it.
The thing that's funny about this is that despite all of that, he's still going to lose the cap.
Oh, man.
And Physics was still able to get that. And the thing is if he was able to make his move and head over towards that mid cap, yeah, maybe Physics leaves with the portal and decaps your point, but you're going to decap his point too, and that's a bigger deal when it's on mid. And you can always get back your home node. So, or actually that is the far node for them, so my mistake there. But still, I mean, mid cap is just worth so much more in this map because you essentially have to go through mid or around it entirely, and it takes up a lot of time to get through that. So whoever has control of that point has control of the map for the most part.
And this is pretty evident in queues as well, but you just, in the Pro League scene, this is a must. You cannot just sit somebody on the portal and wait for them to come back. They're just going to take advantage of that by far, and they did exactly that and ended up winning the quarry node. Regardless, Red managed to get mid, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really propel them really forward at all, because Physics still in this 1v1 with Dolton. Dolton managing to hold on and potentially force some cooldowns out from Physics, who does not have Continuum Split here. So I really like Dolton's odds in this 1v1 right now, despite Physics spending a lot of cooldowns here. We'll have to see if he's able to hold on in the end at this waterfall node.
Yeah, Physics so far hasn't really been able to get, you know, some of the same presence, the same impact as some of the other Mesmers we've seen today so far. And looks like with the help of his teammate Brenslow, who was able to get that rotation over, they might actually get control of this waterfall here. Physics just a couple ticks away, and they'll be able to get that 2 cap and start building a little bit of a lead. It is on side nodes, though, so they're going to have to eventually try to collapse on that midpoint and maybe take a team fight if they want to get things rolling a little bit faster here. Tau getting extremely low now, down to 300 HP. The chill actually takes him down, but, you know, that search and rescue is just I mean, honestly, if you want to call an MVP out for the whole day, I'm going to give it not to a player, but to a skill, and it's going to be search and rescue.
I don't know. His pet seems to be doing a lot as well. I do like the pet as the MVP. I don't think you can give it to the skill. You got to give it to the pet there, because the pet does a lot of that work. But regardless, Duck taken down at the quarry. We are going to see an attempt at a res. He might actually be able to get back up into the fight. I don't know if it's going to happen. Schnicky manages to get him up, takes a lot of Condi damage in the process here. Forced to try and get out of this one. Is going to be popped into Elixir S now. Looks like there's the 2 cap. As you said, Spooky collapsed on the mid node, able to take it out from underneath Gems and Tonic, who are left wondering what they can do at this point. And it looks like they're continuing to send Devil the Mist in this 1v1 against Physics. I still don't like that matchup. Why? I don't like the fact you're sending your Revenant to 1v1 the Mesmer.
I mean, they're making an exceptional use out of Duck right now with the build that he's on. They've got him on Wanderers. They've got him on Soldier Runes. He's got a really low cooldown heal. He's got the support from Cast. There's virtually no indication of an extreme Condi pressure because of the build that he's running with the Soldier Runes, with the Plague Signet, with Suffer, with the fact that Cass is right next to him. The support that gets to go out on Duck, especially with the high toughness that he has with Wanderer's Amulet, he doesn't really suffer that much in damage, and yet still can put out some really good pressure himself and can sustain for a long period of time with the support of Cast. And they were able to hold that point, and that's why they were able to collapse on that mid node with just 2 guys over there on Quarry.
And finally, they're able to head out of mid after a 100-point deficit now. Spooky, a pretty dominating lead. Physics actually looking for something here. Drops the portal near that side gate, looking to pick up a decap. Devil of the Mist. What are you doing, man? He is going to leave this node. He's actually completely left it, and he's coming back now to make this a 2v2, but I have no idea what went down there. And Tao now going to be following into the downstate here. Man, this is just all over for Gems and Tonic. Spooky just making fools of this team right here. Just miss rotation after miss rotation coming out from these guys.
Yeah, Spooky. I mean, and you kind of get that advantage when you have the Mesmer. You're able to kind of force these weird rotations from the other team because they have to actually walk that distance. They have to, you know, use their mobility skills and get around there, whereas you can just instantly portal in and out, in and out. And there it is right there. Schnicky being able to get out, get some heals, and then go back into the portal once he's a little bit healthier. And it looks like he's going to be able to do just that. And now he's healthy, doesn't have to worry about much, just has to get a heal off for Physics here, and they're back into this 2v2 again. And they do a great job of that right there. 310 points now in favor of Spooky, 40 points away from that point that we were talking about with Muffins earlier, where, you know, once you get to that 350 mark in this meta, especially with the Mesmer, and we have to remember that the Mesmer advantage is even way bigger at that point on this map, exactly. That once they get to that point, they can portal over there. There's no counter portal really going to be able to ever come out because they don't have that Mesmer on Gems and Tonic, and they're going to be at a huge advantage once they hit that mark, and it's just moments away.
They still hold on to that lone waterfall node for that matter, and it looks like Renslow trying to get on top of Zerko. Zerko not going to have any of that. Forced to use a few cooldowns there, but regardless, this is just a new Spooky here. Of course, it is against, you know, it's not against like Team PZ, Final Form, or Astral by any means, but still, Gems and Tonic is a fairly good team, and Spooky shutting down any attempt here on the first map to let them back into this game. I really like the plays coming out from them. Looks like they should be able to pull this one off unless some just major mistakes from their side. And it looks like Zerko gets res back up here. Are they going to go for that Lord play is the real question, though.
Doesn't look like they've made any kind of changes at all so far, although Physics is in this 2v1 here with Schnicky. They're in a good position to maybe take a kill here, leave him in downstate to bleed, and then Physics really already needs to be kind of thinking about pulling out of this. I mean, he's still just on the point. Let Schnicky take this at this point. Just let him take it. You have the cap, just one tick away from this cap.
And they finally
both stopping. No, go for the portal.
Finally,
but he went back over to mid.
Down. Yeah, just a little bit of miscommunication there. They are going to pick up the decap here at the mid node as Cass is trying to bail from Waterfall, but I think we'll see a bit of a brief 3-cap from these guys, as we are going to see, no, Waterfall was decapped there as Gems and Tonic try and force him off this node. They should be able to get Duck out of here. Should be able to pick up a kill onto him. After that Shroud is gone, they just keep knocking him back, not able to quite seal the deal. He wants to die on node, it seems. Or actually, he's going to get out of this fight alive. Nobody even following up on him. And that just kind of shows how this game's went here for Gems and Tonic.
Yeah, almost 400 points now for Spooky. I just want to say
your prediction
was right.
Yes, it was. Well, at least thus far, they did win game number 1 and totally shut down my 2-0 prediction by Gems and Tonic. But just kind of going to show that Spooky has come together here and able to do a pretty solid performance against a good Gems and Tonic.
And so far, just not looking good for Gems and Tonic because, I mean, this is Spooky we're talking about here. And although Spooky is a decent roster, they just haven't really kind of stood up to the test of a lot of these other teams. And, you know, this is kind of some dominance that is being asserted right now by Spooky. And you do not want to see that when you're contending to get out of that last place position, to break that tie and get out in front a little bit, separate yourself from these other teams like eDream as well. And things are looking good for Spooky right now, trying to you know, come forward and show everybody that they're a lot better than what we've seen so far in the last 3 weeks.
Honestly, something I'd like to see from Gems and Tonic in the next game is Devil in the Mist back on the sword. I think that kind of brings a bit of a surprise factor to his end. And I think that Spooky might be caught off guard with that. I would like to see that potentially.
Before we even talk about the next game, we haven't even finished with this one. There's a 2-cap right now for Gems and Tonic. There's still 3.5 minutes. All they need to get is 350. If they can defend this Lord, I mean, the gate is getting kind of low right now at about 50% HP here, and they're going to be kind of barreling through. Physics kind of low. Tau pulling over. Devil's already there, and it looks like we're going to be seeing Zuko there as well. So
Physics actually pulled off to decap Corey. He's not even going to get the decap here. So, I mean, like you said, it's not over yet, but this is the third time today we've seen a Lord push, what looks like a Lord push, and then they pull out. And it looks like Cast and Duck are in a very bad spot right now. There's no way they're going to be able to get a Lord kill with just those two guys.
The thing is that all these teams are just really strong at just pulling back, knowing when to, you know, go for that defense, and teams do not want to push in there unnecessarily. Too much is on the line here. As we talked about it before, $200,000 in total prize money for this Pro League season here. You just can't make mistakes like that, so it's just so much better to just play it safe, keep that door down, and then you can portal back to it at a later date, or later time rather. And, you know, with Physics on that, though, I'm not sure if they're going to be going for that, because Physics, while he has had portals in really good spots sometimes, I don't think that he's really as cognizant of some of these facts as some of the other Mesmers.
Looks like Sturko almost picking up a cap over here. They are going to finish him off with Dalton coming through. I mean, this could definitely... Physics is down at the quarry. I might take my word back that Gems and Tonic are out of this game, because they are definitely not thus far, because Dalton already going for that gate. It's nearly down already. They will have a 2-cap. They will hit the 350 mark. 140 remaining in this game. Dalton making the first push for the Lord is going to be met by Brenslow. What do you do right now if you're Gems and Tonic?
If you're Gems and Tonic, you put everything you've got into that, because there's only a minute and a half left in this game. The cap on Graveyard is still there. You have 2 guys that you know about are just sitting on that node. All you want to do is make sure that you send at least 3 people over to that Blue Lord, support Dalton, and now he's in a position where it's not looking so good. Looks like we're going to be seeing Zerko there as well on the Druid, trying to put some support down, but he's already extremely low from the pressure from these casters.
But that Lord's at 60% HP right now. 1 minute remaining. There's the decap over at the quarry. Schnicky trying to boost the process forward. They might pick up the kill. He's sitting at 40-30% HP. All they have to do is hold on to the waterfall, get the Lord kill. We could see Gems and Tonic take this. It's so low. 10% HP. If they take this, they will take the game. But there's the
rebounds
heals from
on
Cass.
It as well.
Oh my goodness, Cass keeping him alive. They are 10 points away from victory. 40 seconds remaining. I don't think the kill's coming out here. This could be a kill. Devil in the Mist. 4. Are they able to do it?
2. They take it. 504 to 498.
What a game. Gems and Tonic coming out with a last-second Lord kill there. What was that? Let's take a look at some opening splits on the Battle of Kylo. Will Gems and Tonic come out with a 2-0 victory here, or will they be moving over to the Temple of the Silent Storm for Game 3? Physics heading immediately for that mansion. Both Zuko and Tau heading to the windmill, so pretty standard split, I would say, for both these teams. Nothing crazy coming out here. Let's get back into the game as we have a big push coming out here from Spooky.
Yeah, it looks like they're jumping all over on Tau. He's going to get taken kind of low. Already forces that Reaper Shroud very, very early on. And that's never what you want to have happen for your Necromancer. And it looks like they're going to be able to get the right amount of support onto him. He's going to be able to get up onto that pipe there as well to save himself a little bit and try to relieve some pressure, but still just getting trained around by Brenslow, Cast, and Duck. But they really need to kind of speed up this process, expedite it a little bit, because we saw much the same in the last matchup, and I think this is the smarter play this time around. Leave that setup, allow Brinslow to make that adjustment to go over towards that mid fight, and then take down Zerko, keep the 2v2 on the other fight that you had the advantage of, and now they're looking extremely good. They're going to be able to, I mean, this is a great setup for them to be able to come back so early on and maybe collect some of that morale, pick it back up off the floor, and move forward with some dignity for sure.
That was almost a three-man wipe. His physics nearly eliminated Dolton. Dolton trying to bring it back into his favor, but Brinslow is going to plus this one, make it a 2v1. Meanwhile, back on the other side of the map, Cast a little low here.
This is perfect use of Brinslow, by the way. Yeah. This is exactly the way that you want your Revenant rotating. This is exactly the way you want to play with the Revenant rotating in this way. So this is a great step from Spooky, finally coming back here. They got a 2-cap now. A kill just came off on Cast, so slowly but surely we will probably see Duck take some pressure as he does exit this fight. Although Schnicky, great job from him, taking that sneak gyro out and then just kind of peeling for his teammate here. So great job. They're finally playing like a team now.
Starting to move towards this mid node, we see multiple team members start to head there, potentially peeling out for a mansion fight. Zerko is under a little bit of heat here. Need to be very careful. Devil doesn't want to be eliminated as well. And looking to try and get on top of Duck, probably the guy to go for. They managed to pick up a decap on the clock tower now as Duck in a little bit of a bad situation, manages to get the kill onto Devil. The miss. Will they finish him? Will they stomp? Zerko coming out there with the search and rescue. Will pick up his teammate. Meanwhile, we do have the decap coming out there from Physics, and this is what we're talking about, guys. This is exactly what they need to be using or doing with this Mesmer, and it's really something that Gems and Tonic can't really fight back with that one.
Yeah, Duck does fall, though, to Devil as well as Dolton there, so he's going to be out. They still have that cap on the mansion, so they're still looking good in terms of the overall score with the point accumulating with the tick over on that point. But Zuko now taking a lot of pressure, does have his heal, does also cleanse a huge amount of conditions there with that magnetic wave, clearing 3 and getting some shouts out as well. So he's going to be healthy a little bit, but Brinslow is in this fight now. Brinslow with the pressure coming out from Physics, if they can get some lockdown on him, and remember, he is going to have that Obsidian Flesh up pretty soon, and he's going to use it right now as well as the magnetic wave, I believe, and now he's back in that water form, so he's going to be able to get some healing out as well. So the pressure, while it is pretty pretty relentless at this point right now, he has essentially nothing left other than that shocking aura at this stage. So Brinslow could potentially
it's all turned around now. Look at this. Duck off the board, Cast off the board. They're holding onto a 2-cap here and just fighting back in. Something I want to make mention of is the fact that, of course, Gems and Tonic don't have a Mesmer, but how do they fight back with that? There's 2 options I see for them. They're either able to keep up with Physics, because there's no way they can just sit somebody on a point, wait for that portal to come through. Or once Physics leave, they're able to clean up the rest of that fight by the time that he's back or gets the cap on the other node.
I mean, look at this, a 3-cap right here for Gems and Tonic.
What is this?
It's just, I mean, they're just, Spooky's just not able to hold on to what they've got. I mean, they're just not able to hold on to the advantage that they set themselves up for, the pace that they set out for in the beginning of the match, with Brinslow just dominating across the board, and he's not able to do the same thing so far.
I mean, 2 minutes ago, you said, look how well these guys look as they're playing like a team. What changed from a minute ago to here? Because they were just getting 3-capped when they had a 2-cap themselves, like literally 2-3 minutes ago.
I mean, it's all about the consistency, being able to just kind of communicate and produce the same result over and over and over again. They're just not at that stage yet as a team, and we're seeing the effects of that as Brinslow has been in this fight for a long period of time, and although they are potentially going to win it, as they are training down Zuko, putting a lot of pressure on him, it's not the same thing that we saw before, where Brinslow was just going around and around, taking the easiest kill, taking the simple kill, which right now would be Devil. Devil right now is extremely low over on this mid fight. An easy port kill with Shiro from Brinslow would completely solidify that as a kill, and they need to use him in that regard, because I think that will help them in the long run, since they have Physics to be able to do that same thing.
The miss. Had his heal charged ready to go. Doesn't get it off quite in time. Tao going in for the res. Gets him back up, thankfully enough for them. Still holding on to a 2-cap now, looking to make quite the push towards this mid-node. Physics looking for a bit of a rotation towards that mansion node, trying to make use of the fact that this red team is without a Mesmer. Now it's up to red to try to outnumber them elsewhere since Physics is at that mansion node. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If they want to combat this, they have to win these fights that they outnumber them in a decent amount of time.
Tau is extremely low here outside of this Reaper shot. However, Schnicki is the one that's really in trouble inside his sneak gyro at the moment, but it's not gonna, or sorry, in the bulwark gyro rather, and it's gonna not gonna be. Uh-oh, it looks like Tau taking a lot of pressure, although he gets a lot of heals there from the Elementalist. Cast right now trying to just get away from this fight, as Devil is just going to be able to take him down immediately, and Jim's and Tonic going to pick up yet another kill, it looks like, once this Vape Nation form ends out over here. However, Tau back on the middle of the node with a bunch of Connies on him. Does have Suffer and Plague Signet, though.
But Brenslow is plussing the fight onto Dalton, and it looks like Devil Mist going to make this an even 2v2. There's a 2-cap for Gems and Tonic, and just taking advantage of the fact that this Spooky team is without their top priority member, Cast, who is an Elementalist. They need him in these fights, and he's not right here, and that's going to be unfortunate. Really going to help favor this Gems and Tonic team. We are going to potentially see a decap onto the mansion node. I feel that Zerko is able to get this decap onto Schnicki. Schnicki needs to be very careful about his decap potential.
And Duck right now not able to deal with the pressure that Tau has put on him because he's in this without the consume conditions. He really kind of relies on Cast, and Cast is able to get onto him now, so they've been able to play it. They've been able to play that matchup quite well so far. That's actually worked out for them, and I think that's a big reason why they've been able to contend so well with Jims and Tonic, who is kind of I would say a little bit better in these team fights for the most part, although they just really suffer on the rotations, both because the team isn't that great at it, and also because they don't have that Mesmer.
And there we do see Dalton eliminate Brenslow at the windmill. We will see the 2-cap prevail once again for Gems and Tonic. Taking a quick look at Zerko up against Schnicki, who Zerko just a moment ago, we had a look at it, was able to get the decap with that longbow, able to knock him off the point. Schnicki has a lot to combat that, but it's just not enough because it's so hard to time that. And it looks like Zerko trying to get some more decaps here, but does get knocked back himself with that reflect bubble. Now gets plussed by Brenslow. This is Brenslow going to be able to take him down, as we see Physics trying to get on top of Windmill and might be able to pick it up. Dalton, no, going to get on that point in time and just continuing to build this lead, nearing 200 points now.
And looking at Duck, though, just eliminated by the Surge of the Mist from Devil, and they're going to be cleaving that one out for sure, as they just have so much manpower on this point. 2-caps still firing away there for Jims and Tonic as they're approaching that 350 point mark and just getting ever closer to a potential 2-0 here.
To have Brenslow and Tau coming in to make this a 2v2. Dalton under a lot of heat, needs to be extremely careful. Looking for a burst play on him, gets his heal off, has Sneak Gyro roaming around him, will be okay. I think now Brenslow is the one under a lot of pressure here. That Slick Shoe's not available for Dalton, not able to get him out of that shield block, unfortunately. But over a 200-point lead now, 6 minutes remaining in game 2. Gems and Tonic need to hold on to this 2-cap that they had just a moment ago, but Cass able to pick up a decap at the mid, and it looks like they could potentially lose this fight over here at the windmill, as they had lost a member, but Zerko coming in, able to get the res. Now we're going to see a pretty big fight over here at this windmill.
And Tau right now is looking like he's trying to go for a kill on Brenslow, who's trying to make his way back around and maybe get back over to Dalton, but he's just too low to be taking this fight here, so looks like he's going to be pulling out of this one. But you know, really looking kind of good for Jims and Tonic right now as they're approaching that 400-point mark. And, you know, despite the fact that, you know, it really kind of has been going both ways throughout this entire matchup, they've just been kind of a little bit more dominant this time around. And as long as they get back a cap, as long as they can really kind of just sustain, even just keep these points neutralized for a long period of time, they're going to eventually wind up winning this unless something turns around completely for Spooky, much akin to what we saw earlier from Jims and Tonic on the last map.
Spooky opened up this game extremely strong. I was thinking, okay, this is going to be looking potentially for game 3. I mean, Spooky did a really good job, but everything just turned around into Jims and Tonic's favor, and now under 100 points away from sealing a game number 2. Still got to finish business. As we saw in the last game, anything can happen. And
yeah, even when you're this close, yeah. I mean,
we've seen definitely seen some strange things like that. So Tao needs to be very careful here. He might be taking down a lot of pressure coming out from the remaining members of Spooky, as Zuko looking to give him some heals. They give up the cap because of Obsidian Flesh, take him into the downstate, and it looks like they will be giving up that clock tower node.
Yeah, and now we are going to be seeing that capped out in favor of Spooky, and then we're going to be seeing a pretty quick rotation over here trying to take out Physics, and Physics actually is extremely low right now. Physics needs to make sure that he stays alive if they want any hope of getting this game back in their hands, because, I mean, if Physics drops, they lose their ability to utilize that portal that he does have open right now. I mean, not open, rather, but able to be used here. And, you know, it's only a 82 points from the other team just taking it from them as a 2-0, and you need everyone alive at this point, because 5 points really can matter when you're down to the wire with 3.5 minutes left.
Not a whole lot of time remaining on this clock. Do have Zerko looking for a decap at mid, but as you mentioned, Physics can go through that portal. It doesn't look like he'll make it in time. Oh, no, he doesn't even use the portal. Oh, knockback from Zerko, picking up a decap for himself. Meanwhile, it looks like Gems and Tonic will clean up shop at the mansion, be able to get that cap for themselves, potentially looking to ride that out to a victory now. 3:10 on this clock, 82 points remaining for them to get a game number 2 in their favor. Look to be, you know, to get their first victory of the season at that.
Yeah, all they really need at this point, with only 3 minutes left, is to just sit on Mansion. Just keep taking free kills there. They don't really even need to, like, worry about Clock Tower. You know, maybe sustain a 1v1 on the neutralized point. That's totally fine as well. But for the most part, all they need to make sure that they're doing is not dying like we're seeing Devil do potentially right here, and just making sure that they have their supports on that node that they do control it, which they don't have at the moment, although Zerko is looking like he's trying to adjust that and make a move here. They do wind up losing Devil. Oh, not yet. They don't lose him yet.
Not quite yet. Remember, anything can happen here. we really don't know what's going to be going down in the final 2 minutes of this game. 50 points away from a victory. Can Spooky pick up a decap? And it's not just about the decap, it's the fact they also have to get a 3 cap on top of this, and they're going to be able to get a 2 for themselves, potentially, if Duck is able to pick up that windmill node. And they don't end up losing mid in the process, so Dalton is going to be looking for that cap there. I don't think Physics is able to get back to that one in time, and things looking very grim here for Spooky.
This decap, I mean, that if it already wasn't secure, that decap secured their win, and yet another one coming out as well. So that is going to be this game. It's just going to be a matter of time at this point. There's no way for them to come back. There's not a secondary objective
Are you
for
sure
them to use
that.
This time
they can't come back.
This time we can be sure.
They can't come back.
This time we can be sure it is over. Right now, 480 to 265 with just under a minute and a half left in this matchup. Dalton holding on to this mid node against Physics, just holding him off, making sure that they can't get this. But it's really just kind of one of those situations at this point where they can just kind of fall all the way back to Mansion, just kind of hold on to that. And that's going to be that. Schnicky right now taking a lot of pressure. Duck is already dead. Physics is kind of low as well. Cast falling a little bit. It's just going to be game over here for Spooky, as they're going to be potentially, I mean, they're one of 2 teams now, as Gems and Tonic has finally gotten out of that bracket of teams without a win.
It's game number 1 here. Going to be starting up on the legacy of the Fofire. Take a look at some opening splits and see if we're going to have pretty much standard splits throughout this opening game in this set here. I'm expecting a pretty defensive split, at least coming out here for eDream, and it looks like they are going to actually send 3 members to the waterfalls. So probably look for a 3-1-1 now as Trig, and then we'll look for the 1v1 with Steel. Curious to see how it's going to end up.
Yeah, nothing too exciting happening all yet, but it looks like eDream was prepared for that early 3v3, and we are seeing that 3v3 that I talked about with Feov, Stalacta, and Sunfish, and this is exactly what I was looking out for, because the way that these 2 guys can support Feov and the pressure that you're still going to be seeing from Feov and Sunfish, it's just such a good dynamic for this 3v3. So I think that they have the favor here. They're going to be able to put the pressure out, and they're going to be able to take this one over time.
Looks like no one significantly low in this game thus far. Not a whole lot of risks being taken. Eternity took a pretty, decent amount of damage there, He is actually not running with Lightning Flash. He's going to be running Eye of the Storm for that 5th shout. So curious to see if that's really going to pay off, if they're going to need his mobility. But they do have that Mesmer, so that will be kind of compensated in that. And Sunfish under a lot of heat.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
that
Selecta
setup
there.
is so good together. I mean, they're able to. I mean, he's able to clear a lot of them himself as well. Has a really low cooldown heal, so he's going to be able to sustain for a long time. I mean, this is going to be a kind of slow fight, as you know, they still have to put some pressure out themselves. But across the board, it's going to be. It should be in their favor. I mean, on paper, it should be in their favor. They just haven't been able to get enough damage out on the right target to actually take a kill so
Trig
far.
in the 1v1 with Steel. Steel being dropped down fairly low, gets his heal off, will be okay. Trig does have that continuum split Moa if he wants to use it, but I don't feel like Trig needs to. I think he has this matchup. He is actually going to throw it out there. As I say, he wasn't going to use it, and potentially picking up the kill, as Steel will be the first guy to go down for Never Lucky now. And Hazard already being dropped at the waterfall, though, so kind of going to even itself out.
Yeah, it looks like Steel's not going to be able to get himself back up. He did get the sneak gyro out, but the Avenger went over there and popped him real quick. So that is going to be a kill, and Steel is going to be down from that 1v1. However, now still over on this fight at the waterfall. Looks like Never Lucky is finally pulling away with this one. I think that they should have been able to take that a lot quicker than they actually wound up doing so. And now they're going to be able to get that cap. It's going to be 1-1 for both of these teams. However, Steel still waiting to get off of respawn, so it's a 4v5 for now, as Olrun's getting pretty low here, but the support is going to be rolling in pretty soon.
Needs to be careful. Hazard actually going to be the one to try and train him down. I feel like that should be on Bear, but Bear not really being able to do a whole lot there, because Selecta seems to be their main focus, and he's taken down fairly low. They do have Steel off respawn, so Corey will be contested in a moment. Remember, Trig does have that portal available for another 20 seconds, so Trig needs to be paying attention. Needs to drop the portal, gets through it in time, just plenty of time there. So good awareness coming out from Trig. But now Feoff going to plus him and get some help from Eternity. I like this rotation from Adrian.
Selecta did not make it back to the portal in time with Olrun there. Still, though, Feoff able to get the kill off on Trig. A huge surge in the mist coming out, though. And now it's going to be down to that Glyph ult to try to get Trig to be killed out. And he does manage to get it there, so a great pickup from them. Looks like a big fight over on Graveyard still, though, as Hazard was taking out a Reaper Shroud just now, and he's going to be pretty safe regardless. And I think that they're going to be trying for Kenya instead. I mean, look at the condition pressure on Kenya, taken down to about 40%. He's still in stealth, though, so he's going to be kind of safe. The decap did go off, though, because he was forced to pull off, and Sunfish now is looking for his target in Hazard, as he's now about 30% outside of Reaper. A lot of condies. Look at the condition pressure on him, and actually gets interrupted on the Executioner's site, so he's going to be taking extremely low. Is he going to be able to get his heal off? Not quick enough. Sunfish getting that stomp off for his team, and a 2-cap in favor of Never Lucky.
This could very quickly be a 3-cap, because Bear is not looking so great over here at the quarry. Neither is Eternity. They need to be careful. Steel and Feoff looking to take it to him right now. Trying to take him down in this fight, starting to build their lead with that 2-cap. Going to get some help now from Selecta. I don't think he's the person to rotate to this fight. They don't need support here. I think they could do with a bit of extra damage, possibly. Regardless, it looks like he wants to make this an uneven fight in their favor here. Now Eternity kind of forced to use his Obsidian Flesh as they get closer and closer to making this a 3-cap. Kenya now going to plus this one. Waterfall was decapped in the process, but this is a pretty good-looking Never Lucky team.
What I would really like to see is Steel traded out for Sunfish in that fight, but it looks like they were able to force the rotation anyways. Olrun getting incredibly low right now, and luckily Selecta was able to make that rotation and get him full healed up and stop the decap from happening as well. So great play from him. Portal comes out. Olrun headed on back there, it looks like, although it actually doesn't look like he's going to be doing that. Portal came out, and it looks like Selecta is going to be the one to go through that, and Sunfish now going to be back with his 2v2 partner here in Feoff. So this is the 3v3 matchup that they love taking, and with the portal that came from Olrun, this is what they were missing. This is exactly what they were missing, that ability to get the portals, to get these guys across the map and create these favorable opportunities like the one you're seeing right now.
And it looks like they'll continue to wear down on the E-Dream resources. With Bear out of this fight, that's a massive amount of damage missing. Hazard going to be taken down as well. Eternity and Trig remaining in this fight. Ulrun peeling back to mid. I feel like they could just keep him there and try and take advantage of the fact that they have that extra guy there, but expecting respawn a little early to it as Bear is looking to go to that quarry node. Regardless, Hazard still being bled out now. That is just a massive deficit here, and this is really difficult for E-Dream to get back out of.
I mean, Kenya was doing really well in this 1v1, and that's all Steel needs to do is he needs to win his 1v1s, and he was doing quite well, but Kenya actually messed up his heal there, and now Steel actually still, despite that mistake, is going to be taken down by Kenya. And Bear actually is going to rotate over, kind of unnecessarily, but still managed to get that kill off. So still going to be a victory for them. One cap and Waterfall. So
Kenya coming up with that 1v1 victory, definitely showing there was work to be done in that engineer, and he's got plenty of time after this week. So we'll have to see if they're able to make progress with it. But Never Lucky as an entity as a whole are really just showing that they are the better team here.
Yeah, if they can force 3v3s with that really, really solid trio, I really think that they have a good shot at taking this game by storm. But the thing is that it really kind of comes down to Steel's ability to push far and win those 1v1s, and then maybe, you know, kind of rotate into mid and help these fights out a lot. And, you know, he lost the last 1v1, though he is very, very new to this Engie. And so far in this mid fight, he's done quite well in locking these guys down. Bear has been taken down by that pressure I was talking about, although he did get back up, but he's extremely low with a lot of condies back on him, and now he's going to be able to get his heal off with Facet of Light. So going to be a little bit healthier now, but yet again, the CC pressure coming from Steel. A lot of damage coming out from Feoff there was as well, so great lineup from those two guys. And now they're going to be able to probably get this kill finally here, as it looks like we're going to be seeing E-Dream pulling out of this fight and trying to spread those guys a little bit thinner here.
Ulrun looked for a decap at the quarry with this portal, but Trig, aware that that was going down, able to follow up on that and force him out of that. Both portals being utilized there. Steel looking for the 1v1 with Hazard now. Feoff going to help him out in this 1v2 and look to probably, after they get this kill, if they at least get the cap and force E-Dream out of this fight, they could definitely look for a gate kill and potentially Lord kill from then on out if they wanted to. But still over 125 points to go until they hit that point. 6:45 remaining in this game. Hazard now under a lot of pressure outside the shroud. He's going to be dropped. There's no way he's getting back up. I just think there's too much damage. Bear won't be able to get him back in this fight.
Yeah, Feoff and Steel doing a great job in this 2v2 right now, dominating Hazard as well as Bear here, and they're going to be able to get that kill and probably push Bear off over towards that midpoint, and Feoff is going to be in charge of doing that with Steel going for that cap. And we're going to probably see the trio actually appearing over at the midpoint onto Kenya here, and Eternity and Bear are going to add to it. So again, we're going to be seeing that 3v3 happening just this time on the midpoint, which is great for them. That's what they want, because that openness is great. I mean, the ability for Sunfish to get around and go wherever he wants is going to really help them in the long term. However, it looks like they're going to be instead rotating that off in favor of going for Trig. However, it looks like Ulrun is just going to opt to get that 1v1 because he knows Trig is low right here. They're going to keep that fight going over towards the midpoint, and Sunfish actually taken out, and that is not good, as Stalacta was the one who pulled off there to go support Ulrun, and Sunfish was not able to support himself for long enough for Stalacta to get back and help him out.
Ulrun looking to get a kill onto Trig. Trig not going to allow for that one. Both dropping their portals. Trig's really just got to pay attention to when Ulrun goes back to that node, or at least attempts to. Hazard in the 1v1 with Steel, getting some help from Kenya now, making this a 2v1 in his favor. Steel forced to drop that gyro and just going to leave the cap. He really needs some help here. He's not going to be able to last too long against these two guys. There's too much damage. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be coming over here anytime soon, seeing as midpoint is kind of seems to be their main focus of contention, that and the quarry node. And it looks like a big fight's going on over at the quarry.
Yeah, on the quarry, actually, we just saw for a moment there the cap on quarry there for blue team, and then waterfall as well. So they had a 2-cap for a second, but Trig is getting dangerously low here with no hopes for anyone maybe making a move there. It looks like Eternity was trying, but certainly not going to get him out of downstate, and they're going to be able to probably get that cap Feoff right now on it. And look at this. I mean, look at the health E-Dream right here. Bear is down, Trig is down. Hazard is going to be in some trouble soon unless Eternity can really get over there quickly, provide some support and peels to him. Shocking Aura was already came out from that overload, so there's going to be no hope for peels in that regard, and a lot of damage is going to be dropped onto Hazard pretty soon, and probably we're going to be seeing him eliminated if they can follow up that heat.
I mean, we've got 4:10 remaining in this game, and neither team even hitting 300-point mark.
Yeah,
and that kind of goes to show. I mean, just a couple of minutes ago, I was like, okay, Never Lucky, they're going to be able to get 350 here, could go for the Lord kill, and they're yet to get there because just decaps all over the map. I like E-Dream's rotations, just not able to win any of these fights.
Hazard looks like he might get back up. Sunfish didn't manage to get that stomp. Just mistake after mistake here from Never Lucky, and this is what we've seen so far the entire season, is just some really, really smart plays, some really good stuff, some great amount, I mean, a good amount of kills across the board, but just these weird mistakes that you just don't expect to see from a team that is just otherwise so good. Fayob now taken down as well. It looks like they're going to be going for the res, but the stomp comes
get
out.
Him back up. They get their team. No, it looked like they had Eternity back up, but he actually went through a portal in the
Vape Nation form,
yes,
man.
the Vape Nation form right there. They might be able to get the kill. It looks like, oh, nice elite coming out there from Bear. They get him back up in the fight, and Never Lucky finally reclaiming a 2-cap now. They are so close to getting in a Lord range, but there's a decap from Kenya. This is 3 minutes remaining in this game. We could see a double Lord rush at that.
It's certainly possible, but I mean, once you get down to that stage, I mean, right now.
Well, we're gonna have a 2-cap here potentially. Is Fayob able to get on the point time? Doesn't. Oh man, there's a 2-cap there from D-Dream. This is a totally different E-Dream. Never Lucky. Both teams looking completely different from past weeks here.
Yeah, I mean, Never Lucky, in my opinion, is a strong team, but they just have these weird moments where they're just falling off completely, and it just seems like they're throwing, and they've been doing it consistently for a long time, and it's really not looking good for them at this point against E-Dream, who they should be able to really, really put some hurt on, and they really need to be able to dominate this match. However, they are not doing that, and E-Dream is still well within the realm of possibility for turning this around and taking a win here.
They need to be careful because at any moment, Olrun will be prepping for a Lord Rush if it comes out from Trig as well. I mean, if they're able to hold on, they could definitely take the win without it, but it really seems that E-Dream has to go for a Lord Rush to take this game.
We are now at the 350 mark. Fayob just got mowed though. Trig setting up a lot of damage on him, especially with that Tides of Time connecting as well. Warlock gonna hit him hard there, taking him down. Stalacta moving into this point along with Steel here so that they can potentially try to hold on to this one. We are gonna be seeing a portal come down there.
There's 2 portals are there. 2 portals are there. That's one for both of the Mesmers, of course, and Olrun throwing it down. Is this a little bit of... I don't like that because his portal's not up until the game's basically over, so they are relying on not going for the Lord here, clearly. And E-Dream will be coming out with a 2-cap potentially. And with 120 remaining, who's coming out on top here? If they hold on to this 2-cap, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen,
once you get to that point where it's about 40 seconds remaining, 45 seconds, unless you have a ton of damage in a portal setup already, there is no way that you're going to be able to get in there and be able to win that matchup at the Lord. And with Trig going down right now, with the pressure that they have now onto E-Dream, with the 1-to-1 cap.
They're going for it right now.
Yeah,
Trig is under so much pressure, though. Eternity is going to come and give him some heals. Sunfish is the only person back. There's the decap at the graveyard. 40 seconds remaining. There's the portal.
Oh, man.
Kenya comes through. He's
so low. This is that mark.
Hazard's so low. Bear is down at the mid node. Is it going to come through, though? They do have their Elementalist Stalacta come through the other gate to support the Lord. 30 seconds remaining here. Is it enough? Everybody is back for Never Lucky.
Stalacta is already there. All he has to do is just keep this Lord alive, put up the Shocking Aura, make sure that you get some peels for it. He got the Shocking Aura up. That's huge for him. That's going to be a lot for peels. All he has to do is maintain these heals onto this Lord.
They needed Bear, though. 10 seconds remaining in this game. This Lord is looking healthy.
He's got the overload, too.
That'll be it. We will be seeing Never Lucky hold on because Bear was not at that fight. 403 to 339 victory for Never Lucky. Bear was dead at the midpoint. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. Unfortunately for Never Lucky, or E-Dream rather, they had to forfeit. That would give the default 2-0 victory over to Never Lucky. They did take the first game off them pretty All right, convincing. Not totally dominating game for them, but
I wouldn't say convincing.
not totally dominating, but still nonetheless taking the game off them. We'll be coming out with a 2-0 victory. All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Congratulations to all these teams, and we will see you back next time. Have a good night.